What's up, Goody RS here, and boy oh boy, Jujutsu Kaisen is back with chapter 155 after a week off, and it was definitely worth the wait. We got some crazy character development for both Hakari and Kirara, and we also got a major hint drop that one of our favorite characters is probably still alive. Go ahead and smash that like button and subscribe for more Jujutsu Kaisen content, and now let's talk chapter 155. In chapter 154, we left off with Yuji meeting Hakari in the monitor room under the guise of a rogue sorcerer just coming to compete in Hakari's fight club. Yuji's real objective, as we know, was to gain the support of Hakari in the upcoming culling game that the evil sorcerer Kenjaku was about to subject the Jujutsu world to. Because Hakari had a falling out with the higher-ups at Jujutsu High, which we learn more about in this new chapter, Yuji hides his identity as a student at Tokyo High. Hakari's partner Kirara learned of Yuji and Megumi's identity and ended up in a standstill fight against Panda and Megumi, in which we could see how his or her, it's kind of confusing right now with Panda saying that they're a boy but having the appearance of a girl, so we really don't know at this point how their curse technique worked. It's very similar to Gojo's curse technique in that it controls the space around them, but it's not nearly as strong as Kirara is handicapped by the space manipulation as well as her opponents. At the end of chapter 154, we see the same dialogue as the beginning of this chapter, which is 155. Hakari offers Yuji a job working in the fight club for 1 hour a day to earn 1 million yen per month, which converts to about $9,100 a month in American dollars, which is absolutely insane for about an hour of work a day, and we can assume that all he'd have to do is perform for the crowd according to Hakari's scripted fights. However, Hakari isn't upfront about this and offers to reveal what the job actually entails to Yuji for 200,000 yen. Right here, Yuji calls him out, saying that it kind of sounds like a scam, and Hakari goes into a spiel about scams and how con artists pretend to be wealthy, and then they take advantage of others by selling information on how to get this wealth, and it's all just a fairly transparent scam that people can see right through if they look past their immediate greed and examine the facts. He then delves into the philosophy behind these scams. He claims that it all traces back to passion. Everyone has passion and the conviction to change their life for the better. The scammer sees the opportunity to profit off of others' passion to make money with as little effort as possible. This passion drives both sides to make rash decisions, so it can be a flaw of people. But on the other hand, beautiful things like love can't even exist without passion. Hakari loves people's passion, and he claims that the most clear example of this is through gambling. He claims to have been dumped by tons of women due to his love for gambling, but in his mind they're all wrong. He claims that life itself is a gamble. Social outcasts are those who, in their own lives, can't bet big enough or don't know where to draw the line and quit gambling. He again emphasizes that everyone on Earth gambles, and if they claim to hate gambling, they're simply redirecting their hate of loss and ruin to the concept of gambling itself. On a side note here, this monologue by Hakari is really good and will probably be quoted for years to come once it gets animated. Kinda crazy how deep it seems at first with this man talking about passion and then completely changing the conversation to gambling. It's kinda crazy how it works in his own mind. I think it's pretty cool. It literally just gets better from here. Hakari once again states that he loves passion. Passion is gambling, and gambling is life. I don't know about you, but to me this sounds kind of crazy, but whatever. Here he veers off and says that love is control, and with his club he wants to control the whole country of Japan's passion. He states that the publicized existence of cursed spirits has greatly crippled Jujutsu headquarters, and he plans to use this situation to leverage the higher-ups to accept and approve of his fight club, so that it's no longer shady and underground. He can go mainstream with it. Hakari straight up asks Yuji if he would be his pawn in his plot to achieve this goal, and at that moment Hakari's phone rings. We can immediately tell that Hakari is now suspicious of Yuji. He asks if Yuji wants a drink, and then he prods him about being underage. Hakari asks if Yuji knows that Gojo also can't hold his liquor, and that's where Yuji messes up. Yuji deflects the statement, pretending he doesn't even know who Gojo is. Now remember, Yuji's undercover and has orders to keep his identity as a Jujutsu High student secret from Hakari so that they can get him to join their side. Hakari calls Yuji out, as every sorcerer in the world knows of the honored one, Satoru Gojo. Hakari flips the table at Yuji and goes on attack mode. Yuji desperately tries to get him to listen to what he has to say, but it is to no avail. At this point we shoot back to Megumi, Panda, and Kirara's standoff on the roof. Since they were all in checkmate for the moment, Megumi decides to try to explain their reasoning for being there to Kirara. He explains the unprecedented Jujutsu terrorism going on and how they're in dire need of Hakari's help. Kirara fires back at him, saying that Jujutsu High left them out to dry and they deserve what's coming to them. Megumi again explains how they aren't working with Jujutsu High, before Panda explains Hakari and Kirara's situation to Megumi. Hakari and Kirara got in a nasty argument with the conservative faction of the powers that be. If we go back to the beginning of Jujutsu Kaisen, we can see that Gojo also despised this faction and argued with them all the time, especially in the matter of keeping Yuji alive or immediately executing him. Maybe Hakari isn't so bad or in the wrong after all. Anyway, we get an in-depth explanation of this faction. Basically, they're conservative in rules and regulations, as well as how Jujutsu itself should be used, including the curse techniques that individual sorcerers themselves use. Panda gives Nobara's technique as an example of what this faction would deem acceptable in the way of techniques. And right here is what I mentioned earlier. It's very interesting. Panda uses the present tense talking about Nobara. I believe this means that she is alive and she will make a return after she was mauled so badly by Mahito in the Shibuya arc. Let me know down below if you interpreted this the same way. I'm excited and I really hope she's back with some scars on her face, kind of like Maki. Now, Kirara chimes in and tells Megumi that the conservatives hate Hakari's technique, which we still don't know anything about. Kirara claims that the rest of the students have Gojo to clean up after them, so they don't know why the boys need Hakari's help. And now it's when Megumi drops the bomb that Gojo was sealed in Shibuya. Kirara doesn't fully believe them, but Panda and Megumi use the momentary lapse to use Megumi's rabbit escape technique and distract Kirara. That's where the chapter leaves us hanging, and the boys decide that convincing Kirara would be the easiest way to get through to Hakari. If you think the negotiations will go well in the next chapter after a little more preemptive brawling, let me know down below. Remember to smash that like button and subscribe for more Jujutsu Kaisen content in the future. Check out the playlist or video down below for more, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.